Did you know the F8 Tributo is actually a rarer car than the 488 Pista? A lot of people were a little bit annoyed when this car first came out, superseded the 488 Pista. This car actually took 50% or so of the performance elements of that vehicle, put them into something that was a little bit comfier and a little bit more road usable on a daily basis. It's a lighter car, so it's around 40 kilos lighter than the 488. And this car really was brought out to really celebrate the V8 line that Ferrari had done for 45 years up until this point. The engineers at Ferrari built this engine so that it would react as if it was naturally aspirated, and thus there is almost zero turbo lag, which is phenomenal in a car pushing as much power and performance as this does. We think there was around sub 400 supplied into the UK market, which is 50% lower than the 600 there is believed in terms of registrations made of the 488 Pista, which is quite an interesting point really, given that the Pista is meant to be the end of 488 special model, but actually the F8 was a rarer car in terms of numbers produced. There's only 8 F8s for sale, whereas Pistas there's over 20. Obviously people that own them love them. There's nothing you can say that's not to love about this car. The performance is phenomenal. Gearbox, coming down and up the gears is just, of course, as you'd expect, instant. The design cues, obviously, it's got the F40 style rear window there, covering over the engine. Obviously you've got that nose with the aero put through it, obviously coming from the Pista. In the F8 there's also really clever aero and cooling systems that actually are put in under the headlights, which again was a key feature of the F8 over and above the 488 Pista. In terms of the rarity of this car, obviously a lot rarer than the 488 Pista, but obviously a lot rarer than the 488, rarer than the 458. So a lot of reasons to be buying one of these, and actually when people look at them they realise the beauty, and they do have a following for that reason. Of course there's a lot of debate. There wasn't a halo model produced of the F8, but it was a halo model in its own right because it was a tribute to such a special engine that really had pushed Ferrari forward for the last 20 years of development in its sports line. Obviously this has now been replaced by the 296, which obviously we're now in the hybrid era, the V6 era, completely different car, completely different sound, and as great as they are, of course, the V8 is so special and holds so much history.